All right, it's time to give Joel a little feedback on this Area 3 2018 video. I'll go ahead and start it in slow motion, and we'll get on to the first bit of criticism I have for him. So this first movement here, I really think he should have approached it a lot differently. I'll go ahead and put a couple lines up here. I like the squiggly line and the straight line. So take a look at the path his gun takes here as he comes over. All right, then pretty late, you notice the gun went down a bit, and it comes back up towards his eye line, and he's shooting immediately as the gun comes up. I would have liked to see a different approach here. So instead of, let me pull this other line off here. All right, so instead of this, as you can see here, we have hand off the gun, and he runs for a couple pumps. I would like to see Joel be maybe as far back as here, right down there. So with his feet, look at his feet. He's not really making a lot of movement there. I would like to see him make movement if he's going to back out on those targets, and then keep two hands on the gun, and the gun's up and ready to go here again, up at this. I'm always looking at his eye line, right? I want this gun up and ready to go. Being honest, I think there's about a second in this movement if Joel had approached it more aggressively, two hands together, kind of, instead of doing a movement there, think of it as a transition. So transition from one paper target to the next, because he's already backed up a couple steps as he's shooting. The paper targets back here, they're a little tough to see, but there's paper back there, I can assure you, and make more movement as he's shooting those. I would have liked to see that. So you got to identify these opportunities in a match, okay, and then capitalize on them. As far as training, I'm sure that Joel is able to do that stuff. Working the way through here, look at that, gun up, ready to go, that's good. Gun up pretty early here, good, ready to go, getting out of position. I like all this stuff, this is good, ready to go more or less. Kind of hunting around a little bit for that target, but that happens sometimes in matches. Now this next bit, I want you to pay attention to Joel's feet. Take a look down there. Now notice he is squared up. If I'm going to draw some angles here, it's like he's squared this way. And instead of doing that, I think it'd be better to be square like this, set up wider so he can cover more of an angle. So keep your eyes on his feet here and you'll see what I'm talking about. See how he's got to shift his feet around there to transition over to this target? That's a problem. There's an extra shot on there. I think if you're moving your feet around and transitioning onto a target, of course that makes the shooting part more difficult. So for one reason or another, he decided to shoot an extra shot, likely due to how he'd set up initially in that position, or at least that contributed to it. So it's another thing, you got to identify what kind of targets you're setting up on here and set up appropriately. Again, in this case, I'll show you one more time, angled too far this way, right? It's too much. He should not have been angled this way. He actually wanted to set himself up better to exit, so I want to see him a bit wider, maybe, and set up more towards that second arrow that I drew on there, the one to the left. Okay, so let's move on a bit. Over here, this is a bit of a strategy issue. Okay, there should be two shots going on to that popper there, not just one. A planned double on the popper is good for a couple reasons. It gives you something to do, which in this situation, look, we only have one static target to shoot before the mover opens up. A guy at Joel's level, you're going to be waiting. So I like to shoot a planned double on that target in that situation. It gives you something to do. It's going to drive the steel down. And I feel I can approach it more aggressively. So if you take a look at where the shooting part started, like here we are moving, and I'm looking down here. I'm looking at the feet, moving. He's stopped. He's posted up in position before it's go time to start shooting. And ideally, I'd want to be mag out, mag in as I move, and then the gun's up, ready to go. Now, because of the extra shot at the popper, that one that didn't hit it, that can stress you out, especially at a big match. Keep your eyes here. Okay, keep your eyes on this. So I'm looking at his left arm. Joel's left-handed, so I'm watching his left arm. See the tension in there? You know, look at these frames here. You can see he's torquing his whole hand, his whole arm, his left arm more. So that's indicating a lot of tension and, you know, fundamental issues with the grip. So the solution for that, of course, is more training on the doubles drill, just so that even in high stress situations, when you want to shoot fast, you want to stop the clock to finish the stage, your stress reaction is not to tense up your firing hand. Okay, because when I see him torquing the whole gun like that, that's not typically good for the points, and it's going to cause trigger freeze occasionally. So that's what I got for you.